take you through them quickly. I don't have the document in a soft copy, so I just have it in a hard copy. So if you don't mind, for those who are not speaking, if you can just mute the microphone, if you don't mind. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so the first committee is Academic Affairs Committee. This is headed by Dr. Mahmoud Bouteflishat. Second committee is the Centers, which is our committee. Third one is Flexible Learning Committee. This is headed by Marwa Al-Deeb, you all know her. And fourth one is Institutional Excellence Committee. This is headed by Dr. Abdul Karim. He's a professor with public management. I forgot his family name, so sorry about that. Dr. Abdul Karim is heading the Institutional Excellence. And then we have the Human Capital Committee, that's headed by Dr. Mahmoud Al-Madhoun. And then we have the Students Affairs Committee, headed by Dr. Mustafa. I forgot his family name. I think he's the Dean for the Student Affairs.
Mustafa Khawad.
Mustafa Khawad. Musa is joined. Okay, great. Good morning, Musa. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I hear. I mute my mic.
Okay, no problem. And then the last subcommittee is Technical and Physical Resources Committee, and this is headed by Dr. Muhammad Anwari. And all those heads of subcommittees are part of the CCQ Strategy Committee that you've seen with in the President's decree a few months back. Okay, so again, we're talking about this Centers Committee and its TLC, as well as the Continuing Education and Civil Engagement. All right. So what I have in this document is the first objective, or the first goal of the CCQ strategy. We have developed five goals, and the first one is the one that Centers Committee is part of. Okay. Dr. Mace, did you have the chance to look at the 2 PowerPoints that I sent you yesterday?
Yes, I looked.
Okay, great. Because that one has the 5 strategic goals that we are talking about, and we are only part. We are covering part of the first goal, which is this one. Okay, this is the first one. All right, and this is the Arabic description of that one. توفير فرص تعليمية متفردة ومتميزة ذات جودة عالية تساعد على تحقيق أهداف الطلبة وتلبي احتياجات سوق العمل وتواكب التوجهات الاستراتيجية للدولة. And for Dr. Mek, this is the English translation. Okay. Now, this strategic goal, there are 3 subcommittees participating in this. Okay. Meaning these 3 subcommittees are developing objectives, smart objectives, okay, to satisfy and to meet this first objective, first goal. Okay, so we have the academic affairs, flexible learning, and centers. Okay. Dr. Mek, did you have the chance to have Google translate the description for you for the first goal? I cannot hear you, Dr. Mek. I think your mic is.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
I translated that. My only issue was with. Excuse me. My only issue was with the document with the tables in it. When I translated them, I lost the tables, so that was a bit more confusing. But generally speaking, I read both and I understand what we need to do. Yeah. Abdullah, I think you are muted now. So
yeah. Sorry. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. All right. Let's take a moment just to go through this the details of that first goal, so we all know what it entails, and because we need to focus on this when we start developing the SMART objectives. Okay. So take a minute reading it, and maybe Mastur can just give us a quick English translation of this one, if you don't mind, Mastur, if I'm not putting you on the spot. So just take a few minutes and read this.
Okay, I'll read it and then translate. Okay.
Yeah.
Only one suggestion. Sorry, if Mr. Mastur, for example, or anyone, he has something like document electronic, he can share the office, and when he explaining, for example, or he can explain as oral. It depends, no problem. If in case suggestion.
Okay, just take time for read it, understand it. Are we okay?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try to put a line under some parts of this text.
sorry, to interrupt. Can I have just two more minutes to read, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mastur, are you okay? Can you take us through the translation if you don't mind?
Yeah. So in a nutshell, this talks about how the college will follow the footsteps of the the strategic orientation of the country, like where the country is heading, and it's gonna work on implementing that through like different programs that are both flexible and unique in nature, so that they can respond to the country's need, the labor market need. So they want to do that using the possible ways that are available and the technology that could be available in the teaching and learning. I mean, not necessarily at TCQ, but I think across the world, and to create a good or ideal learning or teaching environment. I think that it's the summary of it. The focus on flexible blended learning programs, unique programs to help students to be competitive in the Qatari labor market.
Great. I'm glad we have a professional translator with our committee. That would be very helpful.
Not professional, but
you are. In my view, you are. So thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I just underscored the some parts of the text which I believe is related to our centers. Okay, like I said, there are 3 subcommittees participating in this. So the first part is this الاستفادة القصوى من التطبيقات المتاحة وأحدث التقنيات وتقديم الدورات في مجال This is talking about maximizing the use of the applications that we have and try to use the out-of-state technologies as much as possible, of course, and offering training on the TLC area, okay, and that could help strengthen the students and faculty ability to create an ideal educational environment. And this part is talking about offering opportunities for continuing education and civil education, civil engagement through the use of available resources that we have in CCQ, okay, and offering different varieties of programs that will satisfy the market and the Qatari society. Okay, so these are the parts of the objective of the goal that we need to focus on. Okay, now when we develop this objective, Dr. Mahmoud Al-Boutefnishat, Marwa, and myself, we were requested to come up with a few KPIs that will help us measure the performance of this goal. Okay, I felt from day one it's too early to develop KPIs at this stage. Okay, because KPIs, in my understanding, and I'm sure you guys are also can give us your opinion on this. KPIs are best developed when we come up with the SMART objectives. Okay, this is a goal. This is not really a SMART objective. This is a goal. KPIs are mainly for SMART objectives, but we thought, okay, we'll come up with some sort of guideline in terms of KPIs. Okay, so I think we might refer to this later on, but for now we could come up with the objectives and what we believe are the right KPIs that will help us satisfy and follow and track the performance of the objectives, SMART objectives, and then we can come back again to these objectives at the goal level to see whether we have touch on them or not. Okay, so we have this template. Let me just show you here. This is the template to help us start documenting the objectives. And we could start with the Teaching and Learning Center. Okay, and it's great that we have Musa here, because Musa is the business owner, let's say, of this area of the business. Okay, before we start, if Musa can just give us a brief understanding and of the key responsibilities of the TLC, Musa, so we have a good understanding of the official, let's say, official part responsibility of your section, Musa.
اوكي السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بكل سرور. بداية شكرا جزيلا لجميع الحضور ومساهمتكم، والشكر موصول للأستاذ عبد الله، دكتور عبد الله أيضا، على إن شاء الله على إنجاح مثل هذا الاجتماع. بما يتعلق بمركز التعليم والتعلم، طبعا أنا في أهداف متنوعة، لكن سأختصر القول على الأهداف كما وردت في المخطط العام والخطة الهيكلية الجديدة في كلية المجتمع. I'm so sorry because it's written in Arabic. regarding to Dr. Mick, but I will try everyone in 2-3 main important keywords. Regarding to the Teaching and Learning Center, I will try to explain the main goals and strategic works regarding to the faculty member or student or administration employees. Firstly, يختص مركز التعليم والتعلم بالآتي: توفير تكنولوجيا التعليم والتعلم لجميع أعضاء هيئة التدريس. طبعا بالنسبة لأعضاء هيئة التدريس سواء كانوا طلاب موظفين أو إداريين. ثانيا إذا بتحبوا ممكن أشارككم. ثانيا توفير مختلف الخدمات والتدريب باستخدام أحدث التقنيات والتسهيلات لتمكين الطلبة والمدرسين من إثراء معارفهم فيما يتعلق بالتعليم والتعلم.
أستاذ موسى, can you and you're reading it, correct? If you can share it with us, can you share it in that would be great. Thank you. And then maybe later on after the meeting you can send it to all of us via email. Thank you.
This is what I mentioned before 5 minutes, that if you would like I can share it, it will be better.
Okay, good.
Just 1 minute, I open it. So, yeah. Because why I try better to bring as it's written by the high management, because it will be better and it will be clear.
Great. Thank you.
Not to bring a lot of
to share it, I think Dr. Abdullah has to remove
stop
sharing.
Okay. By the way, this is the first time I'm organizing, the second time actually, organizing this meeting. Let me see how I undo this now. Okay.
To see.
So how do stop sharing? Okay, stop sharing. Great. Okay.
It's
I have stopped sharing.
Now share.
Yeah, I can see it.
Sorry, but I don't know if can. It will be not good and clear because they scan it from the Vice President office. It's not clear. It's okay. I will try to make it a little bit bigger, maybe. Like this.
Yeah, that's better in my.
First thing, نعم. بما يتعلق بمركز التعليم والتعلم. مركز التعليم والتعلم يختص مركز التعليم والتعلم بالآتي: أولاً توفير تكنولوجيا التعليم والتعلم لجميع أعضاء هيئة التدريس والموظفين والطلاب. That means the Teaching and Learning Center working hard to provide for all employees, I mean faculty member and the student, all of things regarding to the technology, teaching and learning. توفير مختلف الخدمات والتدريب, provide professional development in variety fields, not only in the skills, but moreover regarding to the teaching and learning as well. How to improve the students' skills. استفادة من استخدام التقنيات الحالية والناشئة في تطوير أساليبهم التعليمية. That means we try to investigate all the up-to-date or the state-of-the-art things that already happen, we have in the CCQ, or what we need from, for example, from outside resources. Regarding to the teaching and learning as well, methodologies. إدارة مركز تكنولوجيا التعليم والتعلم عمليات التصميم التعليمي. This is regarding to the content of teaching, learning, or courses. For example, what happened in the hybrid courses or in the distance learning as well. You remember that in the distance learning we were a main part from the tutorials, trainings, and support as well. العمل على تنظيم دورات تدريبية من شأنها تسهيل التدريس والتعليم الغني بالتكنولوجيا من خلال ابتكار المناهج التعاونية. That means here المناهج التعاونية, the people when they are written this, I think this is translate, but in English it have to be in this 451. We try to organize not from inside, sometimes inside, sometimes outside. If you see today my announcement email, this is from Meda Center, for example. We try to collaborate with outside resources as well. from inside and outside resources to bring or organize some training courses regarding to the technology that help and improve the skills of the faculty member. This, of course, will be a positive impact for the student as well, to bring something like interaction in the syllabus, in the curriculum and in the courses. تطوير الدورات وتدريب أعضاء التدريس وتوفير الدعم اللازم لهم وضمان موثوقية الخدمات واتساقها. That means if any new things, any tools, any program, software coming to the IT department or another department, for example, advising, there is a registration department, they bring new tools. As a center, we go to conduct a training. First thing we contact, for example, we contact or the other supplier contact us to give us what is the how now about this software or these tools. Then we go to continuous support for the faculty, for the departments here to make sure that they use it exactly and effectively using. For example, banner, for example, a Blackboard, for example, there's a lot of things, Microsoft Teams and etc. Then تصميم وتطوير المحتوى التعليمي الذي يتم استخدامه في الدورات التي تجري داخل مباني الكلية. And this is alhamdulillah, it's already fast done a little bit some of this regarding to the registration department and regarding to the academic advising. They do a lot of training for the student in the orientation. This already done in the last week, for example, and they come to us and we do some consulting to provide him with platform, with a recording, tutorial, and something like this. تنسيق وتنفيذ حلقات عمل حول استخدام التقنيات الجديدة. This is actually the 8-1 ثمانية يعني. This is we are working with a new forum regarding to the corona. But before corona, it's already done with a lot of departments. For example, in the humanity departments, we contact person because we ask us about library. You know, we have for every department library in person. There is math. There is math lab. There is IT lab for the IT department. There is business lab, marketing lab. As well, if you know Dr. Mastour, there is reading and writing lab. But I didn't work with the reading writing because there is other people, they do this. But for other people, we do this. For the other departments, I mean. This is regarding for تنسيق حلقات عمل. We contact person, we organize everything, we bring the training, and this sometimes coming based on requirement. Sometimes the department asks us or we go to consult. 9 إجراء البحوث بشأن التقنيات الناشئة لاستخدامها في بيئة أكاديمية. Actually, this is it can be done based on teaching and learning. You know, the symposium. This can be done. That means we try to organize some symposium or we go to participate to see what happened, state of the art in the teaching and learning technology tools. Finally, I'm sorry because too long take time. 10 توفير التعليم والدعم للطلاب والموظفين لتطوير مهاراتهم التقنية. This not only have to be تقنية, have to be not only technique, have to be technique and teaching learning. Why I told this? This is regarding to the tutoring program. We do some. This is a new task regarding to the teaching learning center, not only as instructional technology, but moreover regarding to the something to helping and improve the student with tutoring program. It's supporting program for teaching learning. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry, my translation not exactly 100%.
I think it's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much, Musa. Thank you.
Thank
well,
you.
I just thought we should not start developing objectives without really understanding at least the official transcript of the key responsibilities of each center. Okay, so I suggest for today we focus on TLC because it's too much to tackle both centers actually, and in the future we start discussing the objectives for continual education, and at that time Mastour inshallah will give us some understanding of the key responsibilities. Okay. Can you stop sharing, Musa?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me just.
I will share. Later, I will share you with all this, and inshallah, it have to be clear. And I will share something already written about missions, objectives, and our services and our program activities in very short main keyword in English.
Okay. Thank you, Musa.
Sorry to interrupt, Abdullah.
Sure.
Musa, if you can send me stuff in Word, in the Word document, this is fine. I would just use Google Translate. It's really getting good, Google Translate, really accurate. So just you send it to me in a Word format, I can just translate it. I don't want to create extra work for you. Okay?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Thanks.
Last time, Dr. Mek, I used Google Translate. It was about 2 years ago, to tell you the truth. It was totally different story. When you read something,
really improved. It's amazing. I mean,
really?
Your document that you sent me, really, it's 100% clear. It's really good.
Wow. Now. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. So I just would like to have some brainstorming in terms of how your proposal, how we go about developing the objectives. We have this goal 1 that we said we need to consider, and we have few KPIs, proposed KPIs, and we have a brief understanding of the key responsibilities of TLC. Musa has just presented to us. These are key inputs for us to develop the KPIs, in my opinion. So I just would like to open the floor and hear from you guys how we should go about starting developing the KPIs. I mean, should we go through this first goal, and really try to take some of the text from it and write it down, rewrite it in a way it becomes an objective, or and then maybe with the 11 points that Musa has presented, we go through them one by one, and we could do it in different ways. But I just would like to hear from you what might be the best way to do it. So please, anyone. Anyone would like to say something?
Yeah, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
First, I have a question. How many objectives do we need?
That's a good question. There isn't specific, but of course, I mean, as a guideline, we shouldn't have too many. What's too many? In my opinion, I'm not sure, but we could say 4 for each center will be good. Because under each objective we have we could have multiple initiatives. It could be 1-to-1 or 1-to-many. So maybe as a guideline 3 to 4. That's just my because it's not just this. It's not just this. Remember, there are like 7 subcommittees, and imagine each subcommittee has 4. You know, it will be really huge. So we try to be focused as much as we can. That's the key, the guideline in my opinion.
Okay.
Unless you guys have a different opinion, I am really open. I don't have the answer really.
If everyone is okay with this, we can start with the centers, for example, TLC's college description, and we go off them. I don't know, we just build on them, adapt them, make them objectives.
That's a very clear way to go about doing it, but I believe we shouldn't really be very strict in terms of the input to our objectives, meaning we shouldn't just look at what's written there and they just confine ourselves to it. I think it's good to really use our background, for example, use our experience in using the technologies, let's say, and really go beyond what's written, because otherwise we are not really doing much. I think it's good to have some sort of flexibility how we. So that's just my opinion. Maybe we start from Dr. Mek. Would you like to tell us your opinion, how we go about doing this?
I think if I agree with you. If we limit ourselves to what we already have, then we are not looking to grow. So I think it would be good to know what the CCEC is doing and the TLC, but I think some kind of brainstorm about what each of us believes within the context of the limits of the strategic goal, what we believe these two institutions should be doing, and then we can then maybe compare that with the text that we already have regarding the two centres, and see whether that needs to change in any way. So I think that might be a good way to start. I don't know if I know there's a danger of too much talking and not enough action, but that's just my suggestion. I don't know what other people think. I noticed Dr. Tijani's got his hand up, his digital hand up, so I want to give the floor to him.
Yeah, please, Dr. Tijani. Somehow I don't see the hands. I don't know. You guys see it, I don't see it. Anyways, okay. Dr. Tijani, please.
Thank you Thank you so much, Dr. Michael, Dr. Abdullah. Actually, also, I am thinking to ask a question, or in other way, I'm thinking to say whether we have right to discuss this goal itself. I mean, actually, I don't want to move you away from the discussion, but I am thinking about, you know, when I read, can you Dr. Show me the beginning of this strategic goal? Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is of course تعليم متفرد ومتميز، توفير فرص تعليمية متفردة ومتميزة ذات جودة عالية. So I note the question of this, what we call it, theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. I mean the problem between practice and theory itself. I know that even the what we call it, the practice itself has knowledge. I know that, but I think it's still, whether as we are in this institution, I think at least we know we need to present this the goal of knowledge. At least just if you can mention it. طبعا I'm sorry to speak in Arabic, Dr. Michael, but this is an idea. يعني نحن طبعا نؤمن تماما بمسألة السوق. يعني مسألة السوق مهمة جدا. لكن هل في إمكانية إنه الإشارة إلى أهمية المعرفة كشيء يعني مستقل وله قيمة in itself يعني. Thank you so much.
Dr. Tijani, I was really expecting this type of input related to the flexibility of changing the goal. I think that's what you were trying to say, right? I'm afraid that might not be possible, and the reason being is I know it's not ideal. I know it's not maybe reflecting all the different opinions, but we have spent lots of time on this, and we have taken it to the leadership, and they have really approved it. So it's more like a sealed text here. But the good thing is, if you notice the way it's written, it's generic. It's not really written in a way that does not give you the flexibility to maneuver and try to come up with something a bit beyond or outside this text. So we could use that flexibility to develop the objectives and the initiatives. And in my opinion, it's really the objectives and the initiatives are those that are the practical, that have practical nature. this is more like a guideline. The goals are guidelines, but our goal, our objective is to develop the SMART objectives and the initiatives. These are the parts that will be implemented, okay, which is the key, okay. So this is just more like a text-based or textbook type of description, but we will have our flexibility when it comes to developing the KPIs. I'm not sure if I answered the question, but that's just how I feel about it. And like I said, it's very difficult to change the goals and go back to the leadership and ask for revisions.
Thank you.
Okay. You're please, Dr. Mace. Dr. Mace, please. Yes.
We are in community college. Community college is another as university. Community college, the aim of community college to improve the knowledge of students to be used at their work, at their life, to improve the at their life. It's applicable knowledge, to be applicable knowledge. يعني مفهوم الكوميونتي كوليج مختلف تماما عن مفهوم اليونيفرسيتي. اليونيفرسيتي فينا نقول نحن هدفنا العلم للعلم، بينما بالكوميونتي كوليج لا، لازم تكون المعرفة تقدم للطلاب لتطوير مهاراتهم المهنية. بعتقد انه هذا كان الهدف من وضع هذا الهدف بهذا الصيغة. فهو معروف بشكل عام يعني بالانترناشونال انه الكوميونتي كوليج لا تنمية المهارات التطبيقية في سوق العمل.
نعم. I think it was reflected somewhere, if not in this.
Clear.
هل أضيف حاجة لو سمحتم؟
I think there was Mastur was trying to say something. Mastur?
Let's hear Musa. Let's see what Musa has.
Please go ahead, Musa.
نعم آسف، فقط حاجة بسيطة أنا بحكيها عربي وإنجليزي. The Teaching and Learning Center, for example, aims to embody excellence. This is in one short: excellence and innovation in education technology, teaching and learning by developing the technical skills and the qualifications of instructors, employees, and the student towards enriching the student learning experience. أنا عندي مثال. I have an example. For example, with me, for example, we provide last year 3 or 4 training courses. This for training courses for the students, not for the. And this is يعني تحقيقا للهدف، انه هدف الكوميونتي كوليج انه يرتبط اي شيء بدنا نعطيه عملي نظري لازم يرتبط بالعمل. الهدف كان من الدورات، واحده كانت خلينا نقول على الديستانس ليرنينج، واحده كانت على السمارت بوردز اللوحات الذكيه. واحده منهم كانت موجهه للتشايلد هود، ناس من جوا الكليه ناس من برا الكليه اللي هم مدرسين طالبتهم وزاره التعليم مشان يستخدموا بكل المدارس تبع الدوله اللوحات التفاعليه اللي موجوده مشان يعطوا فيها الدرس. وبالتالي الطلاب هذا الموضوع خلى الاداره عندنا تقول لي اني مثلا ممتاز بتركز على هاي الورشات على الطلاب والاساتذه مشان اللي منهم طلاب اصلا هم مدرسين راح يرجعوا لوزاره التعليم يكونوا اصلا متدربين على هذا الموضوع، ويكفي من كل مدرسه مدرسين يكونوا مطبقين هذا الموضوع بمهاره بيعلموا البقايا. وهسه بالوقت الحالي مثلا بالتعليم عن بعد انا سويت ورشه على كل ادوات التيمز وملحقاته، يعني تيمز، ستريمز، ون درايف، هالعائله اللي من 365 اوفيس. كان من بيناتهم 4 طالبات هم طلاب بالكليه بدهم يتخرجوا، بس واحده منهم مثلا بتشتغل بمكتب مثلا برئاسه مجلس الوزراء، واحده بتشتغل بعده مكاتب، فتعينت كتيم ليدر لكل مؤسسه عندهم مشان تعلم الموظفين شلون يعملوا كوميونيكيشن بوضع كورونا كوفيد. فهذا ما يسمى الشيء اللي بنقدمه على ارتباط وثيق بمتطلبات سوق العمل، وبيساعدهم على التوظيف للطلاب اللي مو متوظفين اصلا. I'm so sorry, it's important to reach this idea to Dr. Mick. Maybe you can translate Dr. Mastur or Dr. Abdullah. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much.
So what Musa is saying, like he has implemented like for training programs for students. Doesn't, I mean, what I get is that Musa means it doesn't have to be only teachers or faculty members, but also can include students and how we can train them to leave an impact in their workplaces, the current or future workplaces. And he's done that with the early childhood students and who went to their work.
It's a good idea.
And used smartphone. So what I wanted to say first, I really don't have clarity on the teaching and learning center. For me, my understanding, teaching and learning center is a center of support for faculty and students. I don't know, but Musa was talking about employees. I don't know if employees are part of that, because it's teaching and learning. When I think about goals or objectives, I think about how we can support faculty to implement the technological tools, educational technology tools that are available, that can or at least CCQ can provide to them. So we can give them training in that matter. For example, one example was the Blackboard. Now, if there are any innovation in educational technology or CCQ or faculty members need support, either new or current, so the Teaching and Learning Center is the place to go. Also for the students, for example, a faculty member, if they wanted their students to use a certain educational technology tool or app, so because time is limited, classroom time, so they can direct them to the TLC to give them support and train them in how to use a certain tool.
You are right. You are 100% right. But only I would like to add one point regarding to what I mean when I told employee. When I told employee, for example, I tell you one example. Banner Noyen. We train as well the chair of department. For example, not only chair. Regarding to what happened distance learning, we train, for example, the purchasing department. We try the human resource department. We train the advising department. We train as well the registration department regarding not only the using of the tools, moreover, how we can organize the work, how will be the strategy of work, because we are not only as a technical part. Moreover, we go ahead with how will be the work. For all this department, what I tell you, I'm going to be a part of the meeting to make sure that they're going with the work is right. I ask him consulting, please come to me, sitting together in a meeting. It doesn't matter, distance meeting or face-to-face before. How the work, the registration, for example, the advising, academic advising, they come to me and they see me the strategy of work, how we consult the student, how we give him the transcription about his plan. Then I go to coordinate the Microsoft Teams based in their requirements. Otherwise, will be not used will be not without any useful things. That therefore, by the way, they will give a trust for this department to push the other department. Please, go ahead to for example, teaching and learning. They're doing well. This is what happened exactly. For example, by the last with Corona, for example, this is an example.
Okay.
But before banner, yes, sorry.
Thank you for the clarification. I think we could continue discussing lots of details actually, and maybe I can understand it's for the understanding of the key responsibilities of TLC, because some of us are not fully aware of at least the official version of the responsibility. Okay, I would suggest, and I heard from you all guys, maybe at the beginning we could just come up with some key categories of the objectives, categories, before we describe the actual objectives. Maybe we just focus on certain categories, and then under each category we could write down the objective for that specific category. So in your opinion, guys, what should be the key objectives at very high level, maybe 2-3 words or 5 words maximum, for each category that TLC should be focusing on in the next 3 years? And I will just start writing that down as we speak. Okay, so is it clear? Do you agree we should go this direction? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I say something? I mean, I'm looking at the goal, the strategic goal, and it doesn't really refer to faculty. It seems to focus more on students. So, provide unique and distinguished educational opportunities of high quality that help achieve the goals of students and meet the needs of the labour market and keep pace with the strategic directions of the state. So I guess we can take from that as Musa was saying, that the TLC can offer directly support to students, but also can offer support to faculty, and maybe also administration. But for the things that were mentioned, I just think that that sort of division of the different arms of TLC probably needs to be clear, or clearer than at present, because people may get confused about what its purpose is in that regard. You're asking me to talk about a topic of like 2 or 3 words.
If I just say something, Dr. Sorry, Mick, I think that you are right. The objective or we call this goal a goal. It's not mentioning that the faculty. You are right, but this is back to what I said a few months ago about the flexibility that we could have. Even though it's not talking about the faculty, and it's focusing on the students, but the fact that students is the focus tell us that we need to focus on the faculty. Because imagine if you cannot really enrich the educational level of the students without really having to. So the flexibility is there. We could. This is just more like a guideline, but it's not really something that we should not. We should take it word by word. That's what I mentioned, I think. Okay, so yeah, I think if we start just documenting something, I think then we could, by time, we could really have the detailed discussion and until we reach a point where we are all satisfied. Okay, so we understand the at high level what Musa has just presented in terms of the official description of the responsibilities, and we have an understanding of the goal. So let's just come up with certain categories under which we will start developing the objectives, the SMART objectives. So what do you think? Yeah. Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to put these categories out. Educational technology. For one.
Writing.
And number 2, pedagogy. Pedagogy.
Technology.
And number 2, pedagogy.
And number 2?
Pedagogy. P-E-D-A.
P-E-D-A.
Yeah, G-O-G-Y.
G-O-G. Oh, that's a new word for me. Okay.
Pedagogy, تربية.
تربية.
It's the learning of education, if you like, or something like this.
Okay, pedagogy. Okay, learning. I'm just for my purpose actually. Learning.
Kind of learning of education. And I'm really sorry. I have to. Excuse me 1 second. I have to take a call.
Yeah, sure.
البيداغوجي هي التربية وأساليب التعلم.
Okay, good. Anyone else would like to add?
Should be the master in this. Therefore, you know that.
Okay. Anyone can add maybe 1 per person. I know Dr. Mek has came up with 2. What other areas that we should be focusing on? TLC again.
BD, professional development.
Professional. Okay. I think here tutoring is the key element there, I think.
Tutoring as well.
Tutoring. Okay. Who else? Dr. Tijani? Did we lose him?
I think we have to add the research in an area of pedagogy.
Yes, yes. This is 100% right, because we try in the center some consultation for the faculty who like to involve some research in the inside outside classroom technology. Do some research, do some things. We provide in the technology, in the term of technology, in the term of, for example, recording, all of these things, because or a blackboard using learning management system, whatever. Okay. These two types.
Okay, what else? I just added Dr. Mace, I added against the pedagogy. Yeah?
يعني أنا بقصد إنه ما بكفي إنه نعرف tools، ولا لازم نعرف how effectively is this tools.
Correct.
يعني
correct.
فلهيك لازم نضيف كمان نقطة الريسيرش.
مرة it's pedagogy صح؟ pedagogy. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What else, please?
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Can you add digital resources? Because if we don't have digital resources, we will.
Say this again.
Digital resources.
Digital resources. And can you just expand a bit, Masoor?
If we don't have the digital technology, then we don't need a teaching and learning center, actually, like in digital technology.
So the availability, right?
Yeah, we need, for example, to purchase like state-of-the-art or make available state-of-the-art digital technology tools.
Is this? Okay. Okay. Dr. Tijani, you still with us?
I am following.
Yeah,
I'm just following.
Yeah. Okay.
I've just put in the chat. I've just put in a definition of pedagogy. Okay, so people can refer to that. It's in the chat.
Sorry, it's D-O-G-O or D-O-L-O?
If you look in the chat, you can see I put a definition in and written the word again. So you could copy paste from there. Pedagogy, P-A-D-A-G-O-G-Y, the method and practice of teaching, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept.
Pedagogy, okay.
Pedagogy, P-E-D-A.
D-A, okay.
That's
like
it.
that?
Yeah, that's it.
And this is what again? The description?
It's the method. And if you open up the chat box, you'll see I've posted there the definition. If you want, you can copy paste.
The chat.
The little speech bubble. The little speech bubble on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to bring that.
The chat will open.
Yeah. Pedagogy. That's me.
Iowa.
Okay. Yeah. Great. The method and the practice of teaching. Okay. Sorry, Dr. Tijani.
Then you need to delete number 2.
It's just a description.
Okay.
What we mean by that? Yeah, it's just a description. Yeah. Anything else?
Can I just explain why I put pedagogy? Is that okay?
Yeah,
I think it's also something historical. So when this center was set up, as Musa knows, it was set up really for information technology learning. And then there was a decision to make it more teaching and learning. So I do think it's very important that a distinction is made between the learning of educational technology and the learning of pedagogy. And one reason why I think this is that because in colleges and universities in certain countries, people become teachers without necessarily having a teaching qualification. And so there's a great need and hopefully a want to have opportunities to learn more about teaching.
Okay.
Excuse me, not just for the practical side, but the theoretical side. So for those people who need it, I think this is something we should be offering as part of the Teaching and Learning Center.
Okay, great. So we have 5 items. Dr. Tijani, would you like to add another category?
I don't have
Okay.
something more than what you mentioned. Is okay for me.
Okay. I was just thinking from my end, and this is Musa already discussed this. We already have a set of technologies. We have Blackboard. We have all these different, very robust technologies, and I think it's about how do we maximize the use of these. Not at individual applications, but maybe at an integral way of the because I feel maybe different applications. Let's say Blackboard may need some data that's already available somewhere else, without having to integrate or without the ability to integrate the data. And so in a way that it can be used in a different applications that we have, it will be really difficult to make use of such applications. I'm not sure if I'm talking about the integration of all the data and throughout all the applications. Okay. Otherwise, you have to update the data in a different resources and different applications, even though it already exists. But if we can integrate them all together throughout, I think it will be, maybe it's already there, maybe not.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
We start writing objectives, and then everyone goes and proofreads them, adds or changes, makes edits.
I was thinking that way, and I just wanted to see if we can brainstorm some ideas at high level, and then we can. But you are right. The next step is we should start writing the objectives. Okay, let's come up with an objective. At least 1 or 2 objectives today. We only have another 20 minutes.
Can I have my objective?
Yeah, please.
Okay, go ahead and write it, please.
أيوة.
Transform student learning experiences.
Transfer
Student learning experiences. Sorry, I'm speaking with a face mask. By providing professional development opportunities for faculty and students, for example.
By providing
professional development opportunities for faculty and students.
Did I write it down the way you wanted? Okay. Now, just keep in mind, when last time I presented a PowerPoint where there was some sort of examples of how we write the SMART objectives.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure that we follow that, because otherwise it will be very difficult to implement these objectives. But we could revisit them.
Abdullah, sorry, transform, not transfer, transform.
Transform, okay.
Yeah.
Transform. Student learning experience by providing professional development. Okay. Now we need to change it into
SMART objective.
a SMART objective. And let me just open the, if you don't mind.
No, we know the SMART objective.
see if I have it open somewhere. I know we're going slow at this stage because we need to agree on the way forward.
Really, this is the very difficult stage. This the starting is difficult, but later on, inshallah, will be smoothly.
Okay, something like this. You can see the PowerPoint, correct?
Not yet. Sorry, guys. I have to step for a minute. I'll come back. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yes. Dr. Abdullah, I write.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Mace?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I can
write
see it.
in the in chat. Okay, you can see another objective. I write it.
Conversation
Okay.
chat.
Okay. I'm just opening this as an example because it's really important we write it down in a very clear, smart way, meaning specific, measurable, all that we discussed last time. So something like this: install an online chat as a help option by September 30th. Okay, so we just want to make sure that we follow that.
I have a suggestion. I don't know how people feel about it. I feel that this kind of work maybe is better done outside the meeting because of the communication challenges we have with not being in one place together. I don't know how people feel about that, but I feel that if I have time to sit down, look at the slides, look at the keywords that you mentioned, and then come up with some proposed SMART objectives. And maybe we could share all our ideas on a shared document or something like this.
Yes.
For discussion the following session.
No, I think I agree with that because I think we need to have a good decent time to look at the different inputs before we start documenting the objectives. But yeah, what do you think, Dr. Mace, Dr. Tijani, and Mastour?
I write in chat, train on support, faculty.
Let me just open that one. Yeah, train and support faculty and students on the effective use of institution technology platform. Okay. Okay, and another one is here, enhance student learning and classroom engagement. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I somehow I agree with Dr. Mek's proposal to maybe give you a template that you can use to develop the objectives, and then we discuss them next time we meet. Okay, that way you have enough time to digest and fully understand the different inputs and give your time, really quality time to come up with something that we can come and then we can discuss, and maybe then we come up with a shorter list as a team. Dr. Mek?
Yeah. Would you like me to set up like a shared document or something like this where we can just all post our ideas so we can see it before the meeting next week, or shall we just come with our ideas?
Yeah, I think that would be great if you can.
So I'll do that. I will set up a document and just and then people can paste in their ideas for those keywords. I'll take the keywords from your if you can send me those five or six keywords, and I'll just try to put them as headings, and then people can then type in their suggested SMART objectives underneath each one, and then we can all have a look at it before next meeting, so that we'll make we can then make the discussion quicker.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, exactly. And just make sure that when we develop the SMART objectives, we follow the examples, please, because otherwise it will be very difficult to come up with initiatives and to measure them. So that
I
will
will
be.
copy and paste the examples that you've given just at the top of the document, so that everything is there, and this can act as a guideline for.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. I know this meeting is not really, we didn't come up with something that's final, but I'm not expecting that, actually, to the truth. We need to have an understanding of what might be the best way to go about doing this. So it's a good meeting. Musa?
I will try, inshallah, based on my previous some goals, to try to write something with the smart things. What I mean with the smart thing, for example, such a type of, we try to, for example, improve these things from this percent to the other percent. Suppose that we have some instance, you know what I mean? I will try to do something, but of course, this is only my suggestions, nothing to be, because I like what we're doing, the other people, to hear from the other people. This is what I'm looking for from long time.
Okay, can I just suggest something? Because when we received the template from Dr. Mick, if we can refrain ourselves or to, let's say, 3 per person, 3 objectives per person, because I'm just proposing this. So because we are 6, so if we end up with about 18, that's really a lot. So maybe 2 to 3 maximum, and then when we discuss together as a team next time, we can try to reduce and maybe merge some of these objectives together.
True.
Are we okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much. Then I think we end this meeting with this note. And yeah,
Abdullah, would you mind sending me that list of the keywords?
Let's say
which you
what we just developed right now, correct?
Yeah, like starting with educational technology, pedagogy, professional development, that list.
Sure.
If you send me, then I will set it up in the document to make it, to facilitate the entry. But
by all means, we shouldn't really restrict ourselves to these. Okay. We spent 5 minutes doing this, so it's just more or less like. So it could be more, it could be less. So that's just a guideline, high level. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your input, and I think next time we will have more productive meeting, inshallah. So thank you so much. Anyone else would like to say anything before we close?
No, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and good health.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Bye. Alaikum assalam, Dr. Mason.